Hi, welcome to my devlog. This video is an update to my previous videos about my project. If you're new to my channel, you may be asking, well, what is this project about exactly? To summarize, my project is about the game Doki Literature Club, DDLC for short. It is a development project with the goal of recreating the first in-game day as faithfully as possible, with an online graphic calculator called Desmos. You can kind of think of this recreation I'm making as sort of a demake of the original game. My project is still a work in progress. It was on version 0.4.1 before. However, this video marks the release of version 0.5.0. This new version adds some new features and content, along with fixing a few issues the older versions had. Oh, and one last thing to say is that if you want to try out what I've made so far, a link to my project will be in the description of this video. I'd be happy if you were to comment any feedback you may have about my project that you think would make it better. Now that all that context is out of the way, I hope you enjoy the video. To start things off, I have finally added more to the sequence that comes after the classroom scene, where Sayori invites the MC to the literature club. This now means that Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika have finally been implemented to the game, along with some of their dialogue. However, one thing to keep in mind is that the full sequence in the clubroom is not fully complete, so the game will lock up once you get to a certain point. This is normal and will be resolved once more content is added in future updates. What you may have noticed by the gameplay footage is that I have altered the dialog box and made it so now the options are represented by point labels. To compare them side by side, on the top is what it used to look like in the previous update, and on the bottom is what it looks like now. Point labels are actually how the text for character dialogue in general is represented. I decided to use this for the options that I thought it looked nicer. It would make the options stand out more, even if it's less faithful to the original game. One feature that I have added is a new option on the sub-screen that, if selected, gives you access to scaling options, where you can manually scale not just the game image, but also the text. You can also access these options in the settings menu, as I've removed the widescreen option toggle and replaced it with another option that when selected will overlay the scaling options for your current game. I decided to add this feature as some people who played the previous updates were apparently running into issues with text scaling incorrectly on monitors that were not 16:9. Now you have the option in-game to scale things manually if necessary. Keep in mind, the previous template options for phones and computers are still there on the sub-screen and have not been removed. Now time to talk about all the bugs that have been patched. The biggest thing that I fixed is the performance issues. For those of you who have tried out the previous updates to my product, you may have noticed the performance getting gradually worse with each update. This was because there was an unnecessary number of output updates happening at once involving the t-value, which dictates the animations, and even the loading and unloading of sprites. The number of unnecessary instances increased in each update, causing the performance drop of each update. By significantly reducing the number of times the t-value is called on, along with some other cleaning and trimming of the math, I was able to boost the overall performance by roughly 2 to 3 times the original rate. In theory, the performance should not be an issue for future updates, as the number of times the t-value will be called upon should not increase much farther than it's already at. A few other minor issues have also been fixed, such as a bug involving the scaling of text for phone support has been fixed, so now its text should be its correct size for dialogue. Fixed scaling issues involving the title banner and the background of the title screen. Fixed an issue of Monika's bow and the title screen missing pixels. That last issue is kind of funny because I didn't even realize that this was even an issue, as I discovered it by accident. I was examining the image for the sprite that contains Monika, along with the other Dokis, for the title screen, to see if I could decrease its file size. That's when I discovered that Monika's bow was effectively half gone. Yeah, it turns out when I was removing the background of the image, I somehow accidentally removed some of the pixels of Monika's bow, which I somehow did not notice, and it has been like this since the title screen was first implemented to my project. Whoops. When I was making this update, I was really going to add even more features. These features would have been to skip an auto function after the dialogue. However, I ran into some issues with implementing these features due to how the ticker works in Desmos. In order to implement these features, I have to take the S values, which are the values that dictate what state the game is currently in at a given moment, and I have to merge them into one single S value, then take the T value, that to be dictated by the ticker as well. I'll try to resolve these issues in some future update, though I'm still not 100% sure how that will go. In the future, I'll also be adding other features like the history functionality, which will allow you to view the dialogue history, and I'll be adding the functionality of the third save file, if there's enough space to do so. Of course, the rest of the game's content for day 1 will also be added in the future as well. I also have to apologize for taking quite a bit of time to make this update video. I got much more busy in my personal life as of late, and as a result I have had less time to work on this update. Hopefully the next update will not take as long as this one did. Well, that's it for this video. If you found this video interesting, please consider liking and commenting your thoughts or feedback on this project, as any feedback would be appreciated. If you want to try out what I've been working on, the link to the graph of my project will be in the description of this video. Keep in mind, you don't need to download anything to try out my work, as Desmos is an online graphing calculator, meaning that everything runs from the browser. Thanks for watching. Bye.